right, we are almost done with our data analysis unit. We are on 12.4, there's just 12.5. We're going to do data analysis today. You're going to be able to create and analyze stem and leaf plots. Miss Nemi may have covered it with you, or Mr. Brinkman. It's just going to be a little refresher. It's one of those things we don't use very much, so we can easily forget what they mean. A stem and leaf plot, what happens is you have some numbers out in front, a vertical line, and numbers that follow. The numbers in front are called the stem. They're like the foundation. If you think about stem on a tree, it's what's holding together the leaves, okay? And the leaves are the ending part. Properties of stem and leaf plots, there can only be one number on the leaf part. What this means up here, we pull out what they have in common. These all represent a number. This is actually 21, 24, 26, 25, and 25. Okay, so what they did is pulled the 2 out and then just labeled it 1, 4, 6, 5, 5. And now we need to take that knowledge of stem and leaf to say, okay, the first part of these numbers is 2, 21, 24, 26, 25, and 25. All right? Yep.
Wouldn't that be like one number on the stem part?
Nope, one number on the leaf part. And I want to show you what I mean by that, because you notice these are not separated by comma. So if you were to group two numbers a part of the leaf part, you wouldn't know where to end one and where to begin one. So our rule is the leaf is only one part. So if I had the numbers 382, 380, 385, 387, what do they all share?
38.
The 38. So my stem part would be 38 slash, now I make my leaves. And you always put them in order. 380, 382, 385, 387. Okay?
If you always put them in order, then why the top ones are the 6 in front of the 5?
That was just an example one. What a great question. Why is it not in order? That's just a mistake when I made it. But the purpose of a stem and leaf plot is it's a quick way to get data in order. Quick way to get data in order. All right, so let's look at some examples on how to analyze it. Some examples for analyzing. To find the mean, you're going to add all the numbers up, and you have to keep in mind, there I wasn't going in order again, 2, 2, 3. If I add all the numbers up, I need to add 22 plus 23 plus 25 plus 25. And then you divide by how many. And when I say how many, you're not going to include the stem part. It's how many leaves there are. You divide by how many leaves there are. Finding mode from stem and leaf. This is not what I meant. Finding mode, you're just looking for the things that has the most. It's finding median that we need to know. Finding median from a stem and leaf plot. What you do, you cross out the first and last term. And when I say term, I'm talking about leaves again. Leaves represent our data points. The things to the right. And you continue until you get to the center. If there are 2 in the middle, you find what's halfway between them, just like you've done before. So nothing new, just a new way to represent it. So everything is the same, it's just a new way to represent a set of data points. All right, so we're going, given this table, We're going to make a stem and leaf plot of the following data. From there, we're going to find the mean, the median, and the mode. The hardest thing I see students struggle with is identifying what the stem part should be. So I always look to see, okay, what numbers do I lie between? I have an 18, a 21, a 20, a 19, 21 again, a 20. So it looks like I go from 18 to 21. So I would go 18, 19, 20, 21. Those are my stems. Now I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to create my leaves. Okay, so I'm going to just go through this quickly. The hardest part for me, make sure you do this in pencil. Sometimes I always mess up and forget a poor little number, and then I have to rearrange all my data because it has to be in order. So 189, I just put the 9 because it's representing 180. So this is the 180s, the 190s, the 200s, the 210s. That's what's being represented here. Now I'm looking at my 190s. My smallest 190s is the 190. And then it looks like I have a 192, a 193, a 4. I have 2 5s, make sure to include them both, and a 6 and an 8. I can already start making analyzing this, saying, oh wow, I have a lot of data in the 190s. So that tells me that my mean and median, when I find a center, I look and think my center's got to be somewhere in the 90s if you were to label them out. Okay, the 200s, I have a 200, I have a 201, I have another 201, I have a 205, and then a 208. 210s, I have a 211 and a 214. So let me show you my strategy when I have to find mean, median, and mode. The first thing I do is get the mean old math over with first. So I add up all the digits and then divide by how many there are. Okay, after I add everything up, and again I'm remembering that I'm going 189 plus 190 plus 192 all the way until I get to the end. I get a final sum of 3182 divided by how many data points there are, how many curves. You only count the leaves. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 3182 divided by 16 is 198.9 estimated. I rounded it. 198.9. The next thing I do before I start crossing things out, because median I always cross out, I figure out what my mode is. So what numbers happen the most? It looks like I have 2 5s and 2 1s. So that tells me I have 2 modes. I have a mode of 195 and a mode of 201. Now my median is where kids can struggle sometimes. You cross out the smallest and the biggest. Smallest is 189, biggest is 214. I'm going to use a different color. The next smallest is 190, 211. 192, 208. 193, 205. Keep going. I'm left with 2 numbers. What's between 6 and 7?
7.
Or 6 and 8? 7. So 7 would be my median at this stem, which is 190s. So my median would be 197. Okay, I want you to make the next one and find the mean, median, and mode. So looking at this data set, I see that I have numbers in the 80s all the way up to the 120s. So I'm just going to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those will be my stems. And now I have to create my leaves.
There's a 13.
There's a 130s. Oh, yeah, good job. Okay, so it looks like 86, and then 87. In the 90s, I have a 91 and 97, so a 1 and 7. The hundreds, I have a 1. That's it. The 110s, I have a 111, a 113. 120s, I have 2 120s. Make sure you include both if they're repeated. A 5 and a 6, and then a 134. All right, I need to find my mean, my median, and my mode. But again, the way I handle it, I get my mean math over with, then find my mode before I start crossing things out, and then I find my median last. So what did you get as the sum when you added these up? 12, 11? Yeah?
Like what's the mean?
13.
13, 11? So 13, 11 divided by how many terms there are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Divided by 12. And I did that, remember when we talk about terms, we only look at the leaves. Okay? So what is this? 109. I'm just going to write 109 because I have no room. 109. The mode. What occurs the most?
120.
Yeah, the mode would be 120. And the median I start crossing out. Smallest, biggest. Smallest, next biggest, right? Smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. I'm stuck in the middle again. So what's between 1 and 3? 2. So my median would be 112, 112. Okay, to bump up the rigor and difficulty level, we give you 2 sets of data to compare. And you create one stem and leaf plot given the 2 sets of data. So we want, when we do this, we make 2 separate stem and leaves, and the stem is in the center. So I want to determine what are my stems between my videos and my CD sales. Looks like I have things in the 20s, the teens. Let's see, that's about it. Oh, I have a 30? That's about it. So I have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Normally I do it like that, but now I have 2. That represents one data set. Now you make another to represent a second data set. And then I do one at a time. One at a time. I'm going to do it as normal. So I'm going to let my videos be here. And it doesn't matter where you put it as long as you put the right order. So I have, let's see, my teens. I have a 15, a 16, and a 17. My 20s, I have a 21, a 22, another 22, 2 24s, a 28, and a 30. Okay, that's one. Nothing new. This is where it gets different, but it's still the same strategy. It's just uncomfortable to do it this way. Notice that we always go from small to big in comparison to the stem. 15, 16, 17. We're going to do that the opposite way. So when I go the stem, it needs to go from small to big. The smallest facing that stem. So let's talk about the teens for CDs. This is CD. Looks like my smallest one is 15. I write the 5 there. 15. What else do I got? I got 3 16s. 1, 2, 3. 16, 16, 16.